2 wins away. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the On the Diamond and Into the Deep podcast. As always, I am your host, Mahal, and welcome to episode 90 of the show. And today is a big one. We are on the day off between Game 2 and Game 3 of the ALCS. And yes, we haven't recorded since it happened, but the Seattle Mariners defeated the Detroit Tigers in 5 games to go to the ALCS for the first time since 2001. Today, we don't have anything in terms of stats, anything big in terms of that. Today is a show based on vibes. It's a show based on feel, because that's what this team is doing right now. They are defying odds, according to national media, and winning games that they shouldn't win. Let's start with the DS. Mariners lose Game 1. I don't know about the rest of you, but the way that they lost that, having the lead 2-0 with a Julio bomb, or 2, and then surrendering it to Kerry Carpenter, who I talked about before the series. The guys I mentioned were Riley Green and Kerry Carpenter. For the most part, the Mariners did a great job of keeping Riley Green quiet. And honestly, for the most part, Kerry Carpenter was pretty quiet too. The only games where he showed up were Game 1, and he pretty much won the game for them in that game, and Game 5, where he sent that game 2 extra innings, pretty much single-handedly. So the Mariners dropped Game 1. It was just sad vibes for me here. It wasn't anger, it wasn't frustration, it was just disappointment. I tweeted that. Game 2, they come back, they're facing Tarek Skubal, and that's why the vibes were down. Because you're going from a game against a Tigers bullpen game where you should really win that game. You're coming off all the rest, you're fully healthy, you're fully rested, and they have a bullpen game after playing a massive series against the Guardians. And you sort of just sit on your ass, and you drop Game 1 with Tarek Skubal looming the next day. But Game 2 was when we started seeing MV Polo. 2 solo home runs off Tarek Skubal. The Mariners give up the lead, but they get it back through a double from Cal Raleigh, and then an RBI double from Julio Rodriguez, who had his clutch moment. He had multiple clutch moments, actually, those first couple games. But from that moment on, he was pretty quiet throughout that series. He started looking like an April Julio. And that was frustrating. It was. I can't lie. Like, seeing him go from looking great, actually, to looking like the guy that's chasing sliders way away and not able to make contact with fastballs. Now he's been better in the CS. And I'm going to give him his props when he is good. Because when he is good, he is very good. And he is the type of guy that can carry this team. He's an aircraft carrier, if that's the term you'd like to use. And when Julio's going, this team is really hard to stop. And when this lineup is going, this team's really hard to stop. And we've seen that through 2 games of the ALCS. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Mariners win Game 2, and then they go and win Game 3 in Detroit. And from then on, it wasn't if they were going to make the ALCS. It felt like a win. They did drop Game 4. And it was a frustrating one. You're up 3-0. You feel like you're in command. You feel like you could have even done more. It felt like you could have dominated that game, had been up 7-0. But you're not. The bullpen struggles. Spire, Bizzardo both struggle. Mostly Spire. And you drop Game 4 in pretty frustrating fashion. But you come home for Game 5. And where else would you want them to do it than T-Mobile Park? In front of that crowd, where it feels like a beastquake type of moment. The 12s are there. It's beyond Mariners fans at this point in Seattle. Those that don't care about baseball are watching these games. It's funny for me to see the bandwagon, almost, of Seattle fans joining on to the Mariners. It's the music radio stations even, those fans, singing songs about Cal Raleigh on air. And it's not a thing where I don't like that or where I'm like, ew, why are we doing that? If anything, I like it. It's good to see. But it's funny to see people who haven't given a you-know-what about the Mariners in ever. And all of a sudden, the Mariners are what? 2 wins away from the ALCS or from the World Series. I don't know how I messed that up, but they are 2 wins away from the World Series, and these people are coming out of the shadows. On Game 5 of the DS, though, that is maybe the greatest baseball game I've ever watched. That was... I don't know if there are words that can capture that game. I don't think there's anything that can capture the power of that game. For Mariners fans especially. For me, it was shades back of 2022 against the Astros, the 18-inning game. But instead of being 2 games down, it was, this is win or go home. But it's win and you're through to the ALCS. And this team is better than the Tigers. The Mariners weren't better than the Astros in 2022, as much as we wish they were. So you go 15 innings. The guys I want to shout out are numerous. Cousin Leo Rivas. Dominant. Great. Brilliant. Before the series, I said I thought Dan Wilson might get school. And it felt like he did a little bit at first. But I want to give him his flowers because he really did manage a great series. And he's managed a great postseason for the most part thus far. And that move was really brilliant. Now, he burned Canzone, which I personally didn't like. But you got to a worse reliever with a guy in Leo Rivas up at the plate who comes up clutch in moments. He's a base hit guy. All you needed was a base hit, and that's what he did. Line drive down the left field line, as it always is with the Mariners. He drives in a game-tying run. And all of a sudden, Mariners are tied again, and they were tied until the 15th inning when Jorge MV Polo comes up clutch to give the Mariners the win. And what a win. And those of us who are Mariners fans and have been Mariners fans for the long haul, and even as someone that never truly experienced the beauty of Dave Niehaus, I think everyone thinks about Dave Niehaus during this run, has thought about Dave Niehaus during this run, thought about what it would be like for him to call these games. And to see Rick Riz, or I guess hear Rick Riz, sort of give an ode during his call of that play. The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship. And then moments later, he mentions that he's going to say a my oh my to honor Dave. And he does. He says, my oh my. And right now even, it feels like tears could just fall. Because it's beautiful. A guy that was everything that Mariners baseball means. All the good of Mariners baseball. That's what Dave Niehaus represents. And he will always represent that. And the story of his daughter being at his statue, sitting with him as that moment happens, just makes it all more beautiful. The Brewers are having a run for Euchre. And while it's been over 10 years since Dave Niehaus passed away, it feels like it's a run for Dave Niehaus, too. And hopefully they can continue this run. And we can all shed those tears that we all want to shed. And they've been shed for moments before. I shed moments when they made the postseason, when they won the division. There weren't as many tears when they advanced the ALCS as I thought there might be. But that's because that was just jubilation. When they go to the World, if they go to the World Series, I'm getting ahead of myself. Tears will absolutely be shed. You can book that right now. And even thinking of the possibility of that happening makes you want to cry, makes me want to cry. Because it's what Mariners baseball means to some of us. It's more than just a team. It's more than just a game. It's a connection to people. For me, it's the connection to my dad, to my grandpa, to old teachers from school, to friends from high school, elementary school even. It's all the texts that flood my phone when the Mariners win the 15-inning game. It's the I'm known as the guy that loves the Mariners. It's more than just a game and a team to me. It means everything to me. And as goofy and dumb as that might sound because I'm talking about a goddamn baseball team, that's just how it is. This team is a massive part of who I am, of my identity, of my life. And seeing them do something so far that I didn't think possible is truly and utterly beautiful and amazing and shocking and stunning and emotional. And it's every word from the dictionary to describe emotions. It's been that. And I was at Disneyland over the weekend and getting Go M's from people, seeing Mariners hats flooding Disneyland in a way. That means something to me. Being on my campus and getting a Go M's here and there from people, that means something. Being able to call my friends that I've known for 6, 7, maybe more years because we bond over this team, that means something. Being able to call, text family because they know what this means to me, that means something. We've talked about how this team just had to get to the postseason and they would have the opportunity to do damage for 2+ years now. And we talked about how if they just invest some resources, this city will rally behind the team because that's what this city does for its teams. This is the city of the 12th man, of the Seattle Sounders. And now this is the city of the Seattle Mariners. We are a baseball town. We've always been a baseball town. But we've been dormant for 24 years from being a true baseball town. And maybe we've been dormant for longer than that. Maybe it's been 48 years, until now. In our 49th year of existence that we've been dormant. It's been nearly a half century of Mariners baseball. And finally, they're on the brink of doing something unthinkable. And all it took was them getting there by putting in some resources, especially financially, where they raised the payroll beyond what anyone thought it would be at the deadline. And I do want to say that because we've always talked about the money aspect, about how the ownership is cheap, and I'm not saying that they still aren't. They still are. This offseason will be a chance to prove maybe that they're not as cheap as they used to be. But look at when you put in some cash, Mr. Stanton. I guarantee you're making a bucket load of cash also. It'll be interesting to see the split of Blue Jays to Mariners fans this series. But I'm not worried because the city's rallying behind this team. This city wants this. They yearn for this. It's loud. It's going to be ruckus in the Mob. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be everything I've ever dreamed of. And whether or not I make it into the city for a game the rest of this year, during this postseason run, I'll be sitting right here behind me, watching each and every pitch, yelling as if I'm at the game, reacting, all of that. And if you want to see the type of energy I have, you can go to my TikTok or my Instagram, where I posted the video of my reaction to that Jorge Polanco game-winning RBI single in Game 5 of the ALDS. And you can see that's what it means to me. And it means the world. It does. And there aren't words that can express it. And I think the words might not come out until /if or when it happens. And hopefully it's a when and not an if. But it's always going to be an if. But if it happens, I'll be right here behind this mic to tell you what it means to me, because a postseason it's different. Anything can happen. The Mariners could drop the next 2 games, and then all of a sudden it's 2-2 with the 3rd game in Seattle, and then you head back to Toronto. Or you could win the next 2. And you swept the Toronto Blue Jays, and you're in the World Series for the first time. And the city of Seattle might just explode at that point. And if they do it in Seattle, it's going to be beautiful. It's truly going to be something special. And I'll tell you right now, being down here in LA, there's a lot of Dodgers fans. A lot of Dodgers fans. I'm not a Dodgers fan. Nor do I particularly like the Dodgers. But I would love to have the opportunity to be the ones that beat the Dodgers. I would love to have the opportunity to look at friends of mine that are Dodgers fans and say, y'all lost to the Seattle goddamn Mariners. I would love that opportunity. And I really hope I get it. And if the Brewers make the World Series, the Mariners managed to, it's a battle of Seattle. In Game 5 of the ALDS, that was the battle in Seattle. But we have another battle at hand now. This is just the second battle of the war. But you're 2 shots away from going to the 3rd and final battle. And then you have the opportunity to win the war. The team has the opportunity, to do something incredibly special. And they'll face off against Shane Bieber tomorrow, Max Scherzer, it sounds like, on Thursday. You'll have George Kirby, Luis Castillo, and if it gets to a Game 5, you will have Brian Wu, your ace, on the mound at T-Mobile Park. And all you got to do is win one of these next 2 and split these next 2. And Brian Wu will have the opportunity at a series clinching Game 5 start against the Toronto Blue Jays. This team has the opportunity. It's now a 5-game series where all you have to do is win 2 of those 5. So maybe it's not an if. Maybe it's more of a when. But I think as Mariners fans, we know it's always an if. And maybe it's a more of how are they going to screw this up. But let's have confidence. Because I think this team can do it. Tomorrow will be great. I'm so excited to see that crowd. Welcome these boys back. And hopefully you can get to a 3-game lead. And then you're 1 win away. And then it really does feel like a win instead of an if. But for now, it's an if. And it's an opportunity. And this team is historic. Has historically squandered those opportunities. But maybe this team is the one to break that PTSD. Break that. And maybe next year, we can go into our 50th anniversary as American League champions for the first time. And maybe more. Just let that sink in. Because I'm letting that sink in, soak in. And tears are wanting to flow and shed. And it's going to be something amazing if they can do it. And I think they have a really good opportunity. The bats have been great. Hopefully Randy and or Gino and or Canzone can figure it out. If you can get one of Randy or Gino to get hot, along with what Cal and Polanco and Julio and JP have been doing, and Naylor, Josh Naylor, what he's been doing, then really you could be cooking. Could be something beautiful. And I'll also say, let's close this episode out. Right now, your off-season priorities are Josh Naylor, Jorge Polanco, 1A, 1B. Really, it's probably A and then B. And 1 and then 2. Because Naylor is easily first priority. But you get the point. And then it's the bullpen. But in my opinion, Jorge Polanco and Josh Naylor have to both be Mariners next year. And ownership needs to open that wallet and hand out the cash to get those two guys back in that lineup. Because then maybe you can run at it again. Then you can really be dangerous. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. It's not the offseason yet, even though it normally is. Tomorrow is Game 3 of the ALDS. ALCS. Oh my goodness. Tomorrow is Game 3 of the ALCS. And the Mariners have the opportunity to win another game and then be 1 win away from the World Goddamn Series. So go, M's. Let's do this thing. Make the crowd rock. Just don't let the Blue Jays fans be loud. Silence those fans. Make them sad and hurt like we did in Toronto. Keep your foot on the pedal and go, M's, y'all. Peace.